Fiji. It's Thursday. My goodness. Excuse me. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing well. Football season is starting back up today. Gonna see some bad preseason games. It's for interesting first game. Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson. That's interesting. That's an interesting first game. Wait, is it the Jets and the Browns? Or is it somebody else? I don't even know who it is. Who is it? Is it the Jets and the Browns? It is. Yeah, it's the Jets and the Browns. I got it right. I don't know why I was thinking of somebody else. I wanted to go live. I've been getting a lot of questions. So I said I go live, answer some of these questions instead of having to type it out. Nobody want to see those 280 characters. Yes, go Bucks, Steve. It's almost college football season. About to get back at it. About to give me an aneurysm. A lot of questions out there, a lot of wild stuff that's going on. You see what's going on with Lizzo. It's interesting to me. I don't know Lizzo. I can't say that I can tell you any Lizzo song. I know a lot of people like her. I know some people don't. It's very divisive. That's life. But some of her dancers said she was fat shaming them, which, the first thing I thought was like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem right to me. I guess they were in Amsterdam and she wanted to do some freaky stuff with some bananas and stuff, and they're very upset. Some other people came out. What's interesting about that? I'll tell you what's interesting. This really has nothing to do with Lizzo per se. It's the thing about people, right? Oh, we're imperfect. We're imperfect people. Nobody's perfect. We all have faults. We all do things that we wish we could, take back and things like that. Just when you're in the public eye, it's just a little bigger, right? And the thing about it that's different than, say, 20 years ago or 10 years ago, right, is before, I would say, especially celebrities, I would say celebrities would get the benefit of the doubt. I was watching Oscar De La Hoya's documentary, and Oscar got accused of rape like multiple times, like more than like one time. At first, I thought it was just one time. It's like 4 or 5 times. It's a lot of times. But, he was Oscar De La Hoya. He was the golden boy. So nothing really, came of it. And Oscar is, is doing what his things right now. Joe Nasty, I'll probably watch more than the first series. I don't got nothing else better than it. But in 2023, it's guilty until proven innocent. And even here's the thing: it's guilty until proven innocent. And even if you're innocent, you're still guilty. You see what's happening to Michael Irvin, right? Michael Irvin talked to somebody for less than 2 minutes. Now, we don't know what he said, to be fair, but it's on video. It's a 2-minute interaction, right? With multiple people around. This was not like a dark corner. This was not like in an alley or anything. This was in a hotel. So in a hotel during Super Bowl week, the girl stopped Michael Irvin. They talked for less than 2 minutes, and now his career is in the back. They got video. They just don't got video. They got video. And you say, well, we don't know. Then they got eyewitnesses. They have multiple eyewitnesses that's like, yeah, we were right there. Nothing happened. Yeah, it was nothing said it was crazy or anything. He don't even have he on suspension right now. So you can sue the person that's accusing you. You can have video. You can have witnesses. They still like, nah, you can't. It's a football season. I want to see look, I don't particularly watch First Take as it is, but I like seeing Michael Irvin on that. When I watch the Sunday preview shows, I don't like a lot of the Sunday preview shows, but I like the NFL Network because it's got Michael Irvin on there. Do you think I want to watch the NFL pregame show for Steve Mariucci? I'm not watching for Steve Mariucci. I'm watching for Michael Irvin. So that's the interesting thing with this Lizzo thing. I don't know if she's innocent or she's guilty or she's a terrible person or a nice person or anything. Doesn't matter because it's guilty and to prove an innocent. And the thing about it is this other thing that I find interesting. Like you look at like the Jonathan Majors thing, right? You had all these people that said this man was a terrible person going all the way back like to college, right? But like there's a fine line between being like an awful person and like a physical abuser. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's a hop, skip, and a jump, you know, to that. When he broke up with you, did he like, you know, brush you off and curse you out and call you names and all of that stuff? You know, or did he actually put his hands on you? Like it's two different, you know, things. You got people say, well, you know, like he was abusive. And they say, well, how's he abusive? Well, when he broke up with me, he cursed me out. You know, just saying. So I don't know. The thing about Lizzo, though, is that, and I bring this all around because I went to the Chappelle show the other night. What I find interesting about these type of topics is, right, you have to talk about them in a certain finesse. You have to be a certain finesse when you're talking about certain these things. Because one of the problems in 2023 is criticizing someone that is a part of some sort of group that feels like, you know, they feel like the group is, you know, marginalized, right? So let's say you just say, and I like I said, I don't know any Lizzo's music, but let's just say you said Lizzo music is trash, literally just because you don't like it, right? And then someone says, oh, you said that because you're fat shaming. No, your music can just be trash. It don't matter if you're skinny. There's skinny people with trash music, and there's big people with trash music. You see what I'm saying? Like it's not that that's one of the problems with like talking about anything these days, right? So like if someone's gay, let's say you went to the Barbie movie, right? I didn't go to the Barbie. I don't know what's going on. Let's say you went to the Barbie movie and you said, you know something, I wasn't particularly a fan. If you're a man, so I wasn't particularly a fan of the Barbie movie. They're like, you sexist, you're misogynistic, you're narcissist. But maybe just didn't like the movie. I didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp. That don't mean I'm like against ants. I'm not against Wasp. Even though Wasps, you know, kind of, you know, they can't be annoying. I'm not against ants, though. You don't see me just stomping. You don't see me with a little magnifying glass with the fire with the ants. That's one of the problems that we have with society right now, is that you can't just critique anymore. And I get it because people take it too far, right? Like people take it too far. And then when they take it too far, it messes it up for everybody else, right? Like you can't just say stuff anymore like just a normal conversation. You can't just be like, I don't like that music, or I don't particularly care for that person, or I don't like that show, or I don't like that comedian. Or you have to, everybody takes it to the extreme. And then it goes both ways. They take it to the extreme, the one way. I got ink on my finger. I was changing some ink in the printer. That's not good. I don't know if that's going to come off. If you take it, they take it too far both ways. So if you like, man, you know, I believe the dancers and Lizzo, they're like, well, you don't like fat people, you don't like big people. But if you say, you know, oh, I don't believe that they, all right, you don't believe victims. It, like you can't win for losing. You see what I'm saying? That's what I find the interesting thing about it. Now, it's quite possible these young ladies are just upset they got fired. They got fired from the tour. And instead of just, you know, accepting the L, they decide they're going to try to ruin, you know, her career. The thing about it is, once again, we all have faults, is what I'm saying. And I think we're getting past this situation where we're hop, skipping, and jumping, right, to bigger things, right? Now, did Lizzo, was she mean, right? Okay, all right, she's mean. You know, was she having too good of a time? You know, at the strip club? Like, where's the hop? Where's the jump? Like, where's the jump to like some actual, like, okay, this is messing with me, and I'm having to go to therapy type. Like, you know, there's, you know, you got to watch out for the jump. We don't have the hop, skip, and the jump is out of control these days. there's levels to individual things. And here's the thing: that doesn't mean that like whatever the bad thing that you do, you can't get better from it, right? Like if you do something that's wrong and it's acknowledged to you that it's wrong, you want to be a better person for it going forward, right? But you can't jump from like, oh, I punched somebody in the arm to Aaron Hernandez. Like it's a people are making these huge leaps. Fiji. They're making these huge leaps without actually listening and reading and watching exactly what's happening. And the ironic thing about it is a lot of people that are doing the judgment are terrible people themselves. That's what's funny to me. The people that are making the judgments, the people that are throwing out the accusations are normally, they're not great themselves. They're not good people either. You see what I'm saying? It's just, what wave are you riding this particular day? Who are you on? Whose side are you on? Whose side are you on? Like, man, I mean, like the Lizzo thing came, it was fast. Beyonce was like, I'm out. I'm out. They didn't get a chance to reply. Lizzo was like, it's all, fake it. But then, it was too late by then. Now your whole career is over, and it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't even matter if it's true or if it's untrue. Now, you used to have some time. People used to wait a little bit. People used to give benefit of the doubt. Like ideally, the country is supposed to be two things about the country. Now we know the United States of America is not united or free or all of that stuff, right? But two things we're supposed to say. We say that people are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Now we know that's not true. Secondly, we're supposed to be a country of forgiveness, right? We're supposed to forgive. We're supposed to be, good quote unquote Christians. And then if someone makes a mistake, or if someone does something wrong, or if someone acknowledges that they have a problem, we're supposed to be a forgiving country. That, once again, is a fallacy. Nobody forgets anything. Nobody forgives. Absolutely not. No matter what you do, you think about Michael Vick, for example. Now, Michael Vick was out here, doing the dog stuff, doing the dog situation, right? Now, I'm not even going to talk about how there's athletes out here just shooting mooses and shooting lions and shooting elephants. They're just minding their business, shooting Bambi with a shotgun right in the silencer, right in the eye and stuff. I'm not even going to get into that, right? Michael Vick, did the dog fighting or whatever. My man went to jail for 2 years for dog fighting, which is insane. There are people that go to jail for rape for shorter than that. There's people that have assaulted people, that have harmed people. There's white collar criminals that have stolen millions of dollars from people that was in jail longer than Michael Vick. But I digress. Okay, I digress. Okay, Michael Vick gets out of jail, says, I'm a better person. I apologize. I'm going to be the best dog person of all time. Here's money for PETA. Here's money for the Humane Society. I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to not do this anymore. Please forgive me. And every time Michael Vick threw a touchdown, the dog. Michael Vick runs for 2 yards. Dog. Even today, Michael Vick could be like, man, it's hot outside. Somebody be like, dog. It's whatever it is, 10, 15 years later. Michael Vick be like, man, I really wish this coffee is really good at Starbucks. Dog. We're not a forgiving country. Unless you have the right complexion for protection. Because, Trump can be indicted 15 times. But, I mean, come on. That's not a big deal. That's not a big deal at all. You had the right complexion for protection. You could be indicted for 35 different charges and still run for president. Yeah, you see how that works? Do you think if this was Taylor Swift, I'm not trying to get in trouble. Do you think if this was Taylor Swift and some dancers was like, Listen, Taylor Swift makes us eat rice muffins on the tour every day. And if we don't eat rice muffins, we get kicked out. You think it'd be a big deal? It'd be a big deal if it's Taylor Swift? I think not. I do think not if that was Taylor Swift. It's just all the complaint. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. got arrested for being so drunk and high that he went to sleep in some child's bed that was a different house than his. And he's Iron Man. So, you can come back from certain things if you have the right complexion for protection. If you don't, I like to say being black is like being a pitcher throwing a no-hitter, right? Nobody remembers the one-hitter. You see what I'm saying? That's nice. You had a one-hitter. It's not a no-hitter. It's a one-hitter. It's not a no-hitter. That's what being black is like. Being black is like basically you had to go through life throwing a no-hitter. And if you give up a hit, everybody turns on you. Do you understand you hear what I'm saying, right? Think about what I'm saying again, Dr. Umar style. Being black is like going through life having to throw a no-hitter. And if you give up a hit, nobody wants to mess with you anymore. That's sad. That's sad. Well, these other guys have ERAs of 9.9999999, and they still do whatever they want to do. It's very interesting if you ask me. It's very interesting if you ask me. Like I said, I have no affiliation with Lizzo. I don't know if it's true or if it's untrue. What I do know is that if it is true, in an ideal world, she would look herself in the mirror, say that she's sorry, understand that she has a lot of influence on people, and people would forgive her and give her another chance because that's the type of society we're supposed to be. If it's not true, it's unfortunate because there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Once that snowball gets rolling, it turns into an avalanche so quick. People turn on you so fast. Nobody has your back, even people that you put on. I'm sure there's people right now that Lizzo has made millions of dollars for, who's changed their whole life, changed their careers and all of this stuff. And those people are like, I don't know, Lizzo. That probably is the most hurtful thing, I think. It's not even the accusations and all that stuff. It's people that you know in your heart that you have done everything for. And in your time of need, they turn the other cheek. They turn the other way. They don't know you all of a sudden. They don't know you all of a sudden. All of a sudden, you don't know. All of a sudden, they don't know you. And all of a sudden, they got all these stories about you that they never said to you the 150 times that they talked to you. You understand what I'm saying? So, as far as like feeling bad for her, I don't know if I feel bad for her. She has a lot of money. I don't, I mean, I'm pretty sure Jonathan Major still got paid for, the Ant-Man and the Wasp. So as far as feeling bad, I don't know if I wouldn't go that far with it. As far as things being a microcosm of society and who gets second and third chances and who doesn't, and who gets turned on quicker, I think that's what's interesting about the situation. I think it did not take long for people to turn on her. And look, people are evil like that. People are mean like that. People, I hate to say this, but it's true. Okay. I hate to say it, but it's true. More people get more enjoyment out of people's failures than they do success in 2023. Don't get me wrong. If you succeed at something and you said your core people will be like, yeah, that's nice. If I was like right now, if I was like, I don't know, I'd close the $10,000 deal, right? And I'm sure some of you that are watching, most of you that are watching that follow me all the time, say, that's great, Rob. That's great. I'm happy for your family. I'm happy for your kids, right? But if I came on here and said I got ran over by a car, I'll probably have more people in this live right now. You deserve it. That's what you get. I hope your leg is broken. If I came on and said, yeah, man, something, somebody hacked into BSO, that's what you get. About time. More people prey on your downfall than they do uplift your success. It's true. It's sad, but it's true. So, these people prop you up, and you see this in sports all the time. They prop you up, they put you up on a pedestal and everything just to wait for you to fall. Just to wait for you to fall. So he's Lizzo today, be somebody else tomorrow. If I was Lizzo, I just ignore it. Make your statement, fight the lawsuit and everything, but it'd be somebody else tomorrow. It'll be some other celebrity tomorrow. It'll be Britney Spears or somebody else. don't worry about it. It'll be somebody else tomorrow. Once again, it's just I hate the fakeness. Nobody I think some people are just better at hiding some of their faults. And there's also two sides to every story. So I'm sure Lizzo's side to why they're disgruntled is different than their side. But the side is people love to see a rich person fall. It's I don't know, maybe it's because you a little envious of their success or envious of their wealth or whatever, but I never like seeing anybody fail. I've never been like that. I don't know, how you. I don't like. I wouldn't like when the draft comes. I want everybody to be like an all-star. I don't be like, man, I hope this person does it. Even if I don't think there's a good pick, right? I'm like, this pick is terrible. This is the worst pick of all time. This guy's super overrated. But I hope he proves me wrong. Moving on. Who's the pound for pound king? Is it Terrence Bud Crawford or no? Or anyway, what you guys think of the fight? Did you buy it? It got almost 700,000 pay-per-view views. Can't talk. Pay-per-view views. Well, buys, I should say. That's pretty good for two brothers. They said boxing is dead. That's not. And you got to remember that pay-per-view is higher in 2023 than it was in, 2010. So when you pay for a pay-per-view now, you're spending almost $90. That's a lot of money. Who's the pay-per-view king? I was in Vegas. Yeah, Bud Crawford whooped his ass. I was surprised. Bud Crawford whooped Errol Spence's ass. I have utmost respect for Errol Spence and actually any fighter, if we're being honest, any fighter that gets in that ring, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't let nobody just punch me in the face in front of all my family and kids and stuff like that. So utmost respect for Errol Spence. Took that beating like a man and walked out with his head up high and $30 million in his pocket. $30 million to make those bruises go away a little bit easier. I think when you're younger and you lose, I think it hurts you a little bit better, a little bit worse. But Errol Spence, 33 years old, got 3 kids, nice family. That $30 million is gonna be all right. When that direct deposit hit, it'd be a little different. Mike Tyson has several of the top pay-per-view fights ever. For a long time, he held that record until Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather. But yeah, Mike was doing big numbers before they even knew what big numbers was. Mike was doing 1 million pay-per-view buys when that was a million. Nobody could do 1 million. So Mike was doing those back in the day. And he was doing them, boy. I think I know Lennox Lewis is one of his big ones. And this was even before, he was doing big numbers, especially after jail, believe it or not. He was doing bigger numbers after jail. Like the Holyfield and stuff like that, he was doing the big numbers after jail. Yeah, Mike Tyson is the reason that these guys make as much money as they do now. Every cycle of boxing has a cash cow that helps move everything forward. So, going back to, Joe Louis and, then Muhammad Ali. Normally it's heavyweights, but then, it kind of changed a little bit when the lower weight started to make money. But you went from Muhammad Ali. Then Mike Tyson came and he became like a big cash cow for a while. Holyfield was a cash cow for a while. Then Oscar came and Oscar was real big. Oscar was super super big. Watch his documentary about his fishnets and all of that stuff. Oscar was a big cash cow for a long period of time. And then from Oscar it went, from Floyd, Manny and Floyd. Were doing, big pay-per-views. And then, you have, Canelo kind of took up from there. And then now we're kind of in this who's next type of thing. I think, Canelo is starting to come down a little bit. And others are starting to come up if they had the right dance partners. Spence and Crawford did better than Canelo and John Ryder. And that would have been unheard of a little while back. So I think Canelo, as far as like the cash cow, is maybe he's still up there. I think he's still the guy, like he's still the one that everybody wants to fight to make money. But we got to see who's the next guy. It's not going to be Bud Crawford in that sense. He's too old. He's almost 36 years old, but he did show that he can draw some fans. So with the right opponent, which is a good thing. So we got to see who's going to be that next guy, that kind of the next young guy that takes it, to another level. Boxing is never dead. There's no experience in the world of sports that has the same type of atmosphere, in my opinion, than right before a big fight or when somebody gets knocked down or knocked out. Like the only thing I can compare it to, and it's a weird comparison, but the only thing I can compare it to from my time of covering sports for the last 15, 20 years as a reporter, the only thing I can compare it to is when Steph Curry would start going off at the old Oracle Arena with the Warriors. That noise, I don't even know how you would explain it. That noise was something unheard of. And he would, it was the difference. I would say it was kind of a crescendo in the sense that he hit 1 3, he hit 2 threes. It'll start bubbling, and then if he would hit like that last 3, that's like way out and everything, it was earthquake like. And boxing is really the only, and I'm sure like people that like UFC watch a lot of you. I'm sure that's kind of the same feeling that you get. Is that it's the type of sport that it's never over until it's over. And wrestling has those type of pops. And pop comes from, it's a wrestling term. So yeah, I've been to several WrestleManias. The one where like the Kofi Kingston won the championship, or Daniel Bryan, or when Shane McMahon jumped off the cage. I've been in several wrestling events where it's like, what was one of the biggest pops that you might not believe? It was I went to New York when they were doing SummerSlam there, and this is back when NXT was just popping, and Bayley and Sasha Banks. I think it was a cage. I don't think it was a cage match, but it was a match, and she did like the Bayley to Bayley off the top rope. It was something. It was a huge. It was a crazy pop for those two young ladies. So wrestling is definitely a pop. I couldn't determine between who anyway or Bud Crawford, who I have as my number one. So I made him number ones. That's boxing is good. If you got a good fight coming up too, with a good fight that if you want to watch, if you're like a casual fan, is coming up on the 12th. Oscar Valdez and Emmanuel Navarrete. Trust me, just watch that. I think it's on the Zone. Before I get out of here, I went and saw Dave Chappelle last night, and Dave, and I'm sure you know this, he doesn't allow phones into the comedy show. And he wants you to experience it without taking video and putting his stuff all over the place and taking pictures and all of that stuff, which is cool because it reminds me of actually back in the day, before smartphones, you go to a concert, you just enjoyed the concert and then, told everybody about it after. Like I went to the Hard Knock Life tour. I think it was like in 99 or 98. You just enjoyed the concert. Maybe you had one of them cheap phones that not phones, them automatic cameras that you get from Walgreens. They had like 26 pictures, so it wasn't no like, 26 pictures, you couldn't mess it up. I understand why he doesn't have phones in there because some of the comedy definitely 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 if the public got a hold of it, there would be a lot of think pieces on it. I think Dave even pointed out that the reason that when he does his television specials, he's gonna maybe be a little bit different in that sense. But it's funny because I think in that environment where nobody's recording, the comedy was so much better. It was so much better because the comedians knew they could push the envelope a little bit without having to worry about it showing up on TMZ the next day. And so I would say if you're going to a comedy show, try to find one where they take your phones. Seriously. If you're going to a comedy show, find ones where they're taking your phones. I think you'll enjoy it more because the fact that everything can be videoed, and remember, a lot of times these comedians are testing out, material for maybe a special or something else. Go to the ones that where they take your phone. You'll enjoy it more because I think the comedians, with the thought of somebody recording it and maybe the joke don't hit the right way, or when they look back on it, or people are offended by it, and next thing you know, it's on TMZ, it's on Twitter, or was it X gonna give it to you? And it's all these social media sites, and then people are like, I can't believe he said that. He can't say that word anymore. I can't believe he talked about these people anymore. Da, 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 da. And nobody want to hear all that. So that would be my number one suggestion to you, was that if you're going to a comedy show in 2023, try to find one where they don't let you record. Maybe you can take your phone in, but you can't record. You can't take pictures. Maybe you can take pictures, but you can't record. I guarantee you'll enjoy it more. Now I'm getting ready to watch this preseason game. It's going to be trash. It's going to be terrible, but the NFL season is back, and that means fantasy football is back. So I got to go study the seventh string wide receiver that I'm going to take in the 17th round. I'm out.